What is going on, everybody? So I am back today because I am trying to get caught up on all these 2022 releases so that I can make my best of the year list. And this was a movie that I was really looking forward to checking out because it is directed by the great Guillermo del Toro. And I always get excited whenever Guillermo puts out a film. I feel like he's one of the greatest to ever do it. And so the film I'm going to be discussing today is his stop motion animation rendition of the classic story Pinocchio. Pinocchio is directed by Guillermo del Toro and Mark Gustafson. During the rise of fascism in Mussolini's Italy, a wooden boy brought magically to life struggles to live up to his father's expectations. So when it comes to Disney films, I recently rewatched the original Pinocchio and I absolutely despised it. I thought that the story was ridiculous and stupid. This whole idea of just like blindly obeying your parents and not ever questioning anything, and like any sort of behavior outside of what is considered the norm makes you this horrible person. The way that it like looks at actors and celebritydom and fame is just really a backwards mentality of thinking, and watching that movie just really irritated me. And I know that Disney always skews the original source material, so when I heard that Guillermo del Toro was going to be approaching this project, I was really excited because I feel like Guillermo is someone with such a creative mind, and he's someone that anytime he creates anything, I get so excited about it because there's always so much heart and imagination and thought put into whatever project that he goes about tackling. And what I will say is I think that this is the greatest adaptation of Pinocchio that has been done to date. Despite the fact that I don't like the original Pinocchio very much and I'm not a fan of the story, I still really enjoyed this film. I didn't love it. I really liked it. And I feel like there's a lot to get into on that. So first off, it's pretty much stupid to even say this, but the stop motion animation is breathtaking. It's unlike anything I've ever seen before. The amount of detail put in to the way that each one of these individual characters looks and moves, and just everything about the world that is created here is fantastic. And what I really liked is the attention to detail in all of the settings. You just look at these individual places that the characters show up in, and it's unbelievable to think of the amount of time that went into crafting these. All the vocal performances in the film are really good. You even get like Cate Blanchett showing up in this doing like a minor role, and every single vocal performance in this is really great. I really like the incorporation of like the story of Geppetto and his real son, and his son passing away due to the tragedy of like bombs being dropped, and he's a casualty of war even though war doesn't come to their small town, and sort of this grieving Geppetto building Pinocchio as like a way to try to deal with the loss of his son, and him coming to life and being genuinely shocked by it, because in the original it's like, oh, Pinocchio's alive, Geppetto's fine with it. And this, there's like a hesitation of, this isn't normal, this doesn't seem right, what is going on? And so there's a lot more actual thought process into how a human being would deal with this situation, comparatively to Disney's, where it's like, oh, everything's just kosher, everything's fine, it doesn't really matter. And so that was a really unique approach. And obviously the story, Pinocchio is the same as he is in every rendition. He's an annoying little kid that just wants to explore and do whatever he wants, and he doesn't take to obeying rules very well. And so that part of the story still follows a similar beat. He still joins this carnival, he still becomes like the lead of their show, but different than the original Pinocchio is like he joins this to try to make money to send to Geppetto so that he can continue to live. And I do like that incorporation and feel like that there's a lot more depth in these characters that is explored comparatively to the Disney original. And then obviously you have the backdrop of Mussolini's Italy, which, you know, adding sort of social commentary into work is something that Guillermo del Toro is known for. Obviously a very anti-war film. It's really interesting that they incorporated Mussolini as a character in this film, who I think is voiced by Tom Kenny, that voiced SpongeBob, which was a pretty wild decision to make, and that whole sequence is pretty funny. But I was really appreciative of a lot of the way that Guillermo approached this source material, and I feel like he did make a lot more of it emotionally resonant than comparatively to what I'm used to with the original Pinocchio source material. My biggest issue with Pinocchio as a whole is, like I said, I feel like the whole mentality behind the story is a little outdated, and also I find the character of Pinocchio to be incredibly grating and irritating and annoying, to where there's so many sequences that it just pulled me out, because I'm like, God, I just really don't care about this character. He's driving me insane. And I understand the point is to like portray youth and excitement and enjoyment and like neglect of the rules, and so they make him very just kind of airheaded and does whatever he wants. But that there's like an irritation that comes with that character, and obviously in the Disney original it's way more irritating than it is in this rendition of the film. I'm able to cope with it a lot more, but it's still not something that I found myself loving. The film ended and I was like, oh, I really enjoyed that. It was a really entertaining time, and Guillermo obviously is someone who's incredibly passionate about this material, but it wasn't anything that really like stuck in my head to where I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to watch this again. It was more like I'm glad I watched that and I enjoyed it. Also, the musical numbers in this were really great. I thought the attention to detail to the music was fantastic. All of that element of the film was something I really enjoyed, but I don't know if I'll be revisiting this anytime in the near future. I thought it was all right, but I think a lot of people will really love this, and it's definitely the best adaptation of Pinocchio to date. So have you seen Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. I thought it was really good. I thought it was well put together. The animation was beautiful, and I enjoyed it for the most part. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I just recently hit 1,000 subscribers, which is amazing to me. I've been pushing for that for a while now, and it's just really exciting to see. I'm so glad to see so many new commenters and people enjoying the material, and I've got plenty more planned for the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.